Imagine you're in a foreign country pursuing a degree of your choice, but this is all a dream because the moment you wake up, you realize you need to finance it. But that is where things go terribly wrong. Welcome to the channel. My name is Manil, and on this channel, I post useful content to help you go study abroad. And in today's video, we're going to discuss how to finance your education abroad. So let's get started. Dreaming of studying abroad but worried about the finances? You're not alone. For many Indian students, financing international education can feel like a challenge. But with the right strategy, it's absolutely achievable. Now, in this video, I'll share 4 ways to fund your dream education abroad. And the fourth one is the one that most people do not consider when that should be the one to focus on. So let's look at these. First one, scholarships. Many universities and governments offer generous financial aid for international students, and you should target these right from the start. Here are some scholarships that you can apply to, and these are very popular. The first one is the Commonwealth Scholarship, which is available for Indian students to study in Commonwealth nations such as the UK. The Chevening Scholarship. This covers tuition fee and living costs for courses in the UK. The Erasmus Scholarships, perfect for students looking to study in Europe. And finally, the Fulbright Nehru Fellowship, ideal for studying in US. It covers tuition fee, living and travel expenses. Now, getting these particular scholarships can be very challenging as they're very popular and very competitive. And the expectations are that the applicants should show a strong academic record, leadership skills, very clear purpose and future goals. And they should also show community involvement, relevant work experience in certain cases, and very well crafted essays and letter of recommendation. Now, these are, of course, scholarships that are not specific to any particular university, but every university offers its own range of scholarships to attract and support talented international students. Now, these scholarships vary by academic merit, financial need, or specific areas of study. So, for example, if you want to study biology, there could be scholarships at a university specifically for students who wish to study biology. Uh, there are also partially funded programs, fee waivers, and awards for leadership or research. Research means that you're going for a PhD, and for that, the university funds your research. Most of the reputed international universities also have research grants and scholarships for Indian students. What you have to do is go to the websites and check for specific scholarships in their directory and make sure that you apply to these. The earlier that you apply to these universities, the better are your chances of getting selected for one of these scholarships. Now, let's be honest and practical. Only 1 out of 10 students stand a chance to get a scholarship, and that too only if the person has a strong profile. But we should not let this get in the way of getting an education abroad, as that experience unlocks many doors and opportunities for career and personal growth. So now let's look at an option that works best for most students who want to study abroad. And that brings us to education loans. These are a practical and accessible option for financing your education abroad, especially if you're unable to secure a scholarship. First, they're easily accessible compared to scholarships. Scholarships, like we discussed, are highly competitive with strict eligibility criteria and limited availability. In contrast, education loans are available to a broad range of students as long as you meet the bank's financial and academic requirements. Now, these are also tailored for overseas education. Indian banks and financial institutions offer specific products designed for studying abroad. For example, SBI offers the Global Advantage Scheme. Now, you can pick up loans for as much as 1.5 crores with interest rates starting from about 8.5%. And the repayment usually begins after a moratorium period. A moratorium period is a short duration that is offered to you from the date of taking the loan. This could be 6 months to 2 years. And in this time period, you don't have to pay the EMIs that you're supposed to pay for your loan. What this does is it helps you settle into your education and probably even start your career before you start tackling these loans and their EMIs. Beyond SBI, even Bank of Baroda has its own product called the Baroda Scholar Scheme, and it covers tuition fee as well as other costs that are associated with your education if you go to study to top ranked global universities. And even their interest rates are pretty competitive. You can also pick up loans from private banks like ICICI and HDFC, but of course, they are private, so the interest rates are slightly higher. They could be 9 to 11%. And finally, there is also the non-banking financial companies known as NBFCs in short, like Credila and Avance, which specialize in education loans with quicker processing and customized repayment plans. Like I said earlier, repayment plans which are flexible can give you plans which offer a moratorium, or plans which give you flexibility to pay a certain amount in one go and then maybe more at a later stage, help you by letting you settle into your career, as well as probably also making your loan slightly cheaper. There is another advantage that comes with education loans. When you take an education loan, you can also take loans to cover additional expenses beyond your tuition fee. For example, travel, books, and even insurance. This ensures that you can manage your overall budget without major compromises. And finally, education loans also come with tax benefits. Now, if you're a student, this may not necessarily be useful for you, but your parent or parents could still make the most of it, because under Section 80E of the Income Tax Act, you can claim a deduction on the interest paid on education loans, and this further reduces the financial burden of taking a loan. But hey, listen, you could take a loan and it could not work for you because you do not do it properly. So here's how to make it work for you. First thing first, always research and compare multiple options. There are multiple platforms available like Vidya Lakshmi or EduFund for clarity, or you could reach out to me. I, as a counselor, help you not just secure education loans, I help you right from the beginning of your study abroad process all the way to getting you there to your university. I help you by first shortlisting your universities and courses that you want to apply to, and then helping you apply to those programs. Once you've received your admission, I also help you with accepting that offer and then getting into the process of securing funds so that you can get your visa. And once the visa has been secured, you can then fly out to the country where you want to go study and pursue your dreams. So if you want to do that, if you want to reach out to me, there's a link in the description of this video. Click on that to start a WhatsApp chat with me or my team, and we will take it forward from there with you. Now, to get an education loan, which is what we were discussing, you will also need a solid co-signer or guarantor. Now, who's a co-signer or a guarantor? This is a person who says that in the case this person is unable to pay the EMIs of the loan, I will be the one who will be happy to cover that duration or the amount. Now, this could improve your chances of securing better terms, because in most cases, your co-signer or guarantor would be a parent or a close family member who already has a strong credit history, and the banks would be happy to reduce the interest rate for you or give you more flexible options. There's one more thing that is very important. A lot of people tend to make this mistake that they end up choosing an amount which is either too big or too small. Okay. Too small, we already know was the problem. You will not be able to cover your expenses. But also at the same time, you have to avoid over borrowing to keep repayments manageable. You need to understand that once you've taken a loan, it starts incurring interest. And the bigger the loan, the higher the interest amount that you have to end up paying. Now, by strategically utilizing education loans, you can focus on your studies without the stress of upfront financial hurdles. They're a lifeline for many students and a stepping stone to achieve your dream education abroad. Whatever we have discussed till now is what you need to do before you move abroad for your study. Now, let's discuss what you can do to earn while you study, and as a result, reduce the amount of money you take as loan from a bank. And that brings us to part-time work. Most countries allow international students to work part-time during their studies. For example, in the UK and Australia, you can work up to 20 hours a week during semesters and full-time during your long-term holiday. In Canada, they recently increased this limit to 24 hours per week from 20 hours so that you can work more while studying. Working part-time helps cover living expenses and builds your resume as well. But remember to balance your studies and work effectively. Finally, let's look at the fourth option, which can help you fund your education abroad. And this also helps you get away with, in certain cases, a weaker profile and even saves you from taking expensive loans from the market. And that brings us to external funding opportunities. Did you know that organizations and foundations also offer grants and bursaries to study abroad? There are some very famous ones like the INLAC Scholarship, which provides funding for courses in the US, UK, and Europe. And then, of course, there's the globally famous Rotary International Scholarships, which support various international study programs. But of all of these external funding options, the most useful ones are the local NGOs and community scholarships. Almost all communities in India today have a fund in place to support the education of their youth. And of the total amount identified, a large chunk is also made available for overseas education. These scholarships are the easiest to target because there is an opportunity for the applicant, which is you, to speak directly with the people responsible and explain why you need it and how you will be able to support the community after you move abroad. So there you have it. 4 actionable steps to finance your education abroad. These are scholarships, education loans, part-time jobs, and finally, and most importantly, external funding. And don't forget, you always have your personal savings. The key is to start planning early, research thoroughly, and be persistent in your applications. Your dream is worth it. Now, are you ready to take the leap? If you're thinking about studying abroad and you're from India, I have dropped the link in the description where you can start a chat with my team and me and get an assessment of your profile for overseas education. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe for more tips and advice and drop your questions in the comments. I'd love to hear what's on your mind. Thank you so much for watching.